What up, everyone, and welcome to The Social Room, where strategic networking meets insightful business conversations. I'm your host, Aiden Snell, and this show is designed to connect you with business leaders, visionaries, and entrepreneurs who are not only crushing it and making waves within their industries, but who might also just share the game that can take you to the next level. In each episode, we'll explore the stories of these business owners and how they're impacting lives. Who knows? You might just find your next big opportunity right here on this episode. So sit back, tune in, and let's get social. All right, guys, today we are joined by the one and only Marco Baldocchi, CEO of Neuralysis. Marco, how are you today, my man?
Good. Absolutely good. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you for coming on and being a part of the episode. So, Marco, tell us a little bit about yourself real quick. Where are you from? What are you passionate about?
Yeah, I'm Italian. I'm from a very small town in Tuscany, close to Florence. And 8 years ago, more or less, I had a crazy idea. I want to bring the consumer neuroscience in the United States, in the land of marketing, where all the marketing stuff started. And I have a huge passion for consumer neuroscience and the trigger that nudge people to do something. So I was curious to bring together neuroscience and marketing and to do that in the United States. So some years ago, I moved to Miami, and now we have a headquarters here in Miami and an office in New York. And I'm bringing neuroscience inside the marketing world in the United States.
Amazing. I love that, Marco. Thanks so much for sharing. Great to learn a little bit more about you. And glad again that you could come on to the show. So to start it off, we're going to get into what I like to call the Power Five. I'm going to ask you 5 power questions, and you're going to give me your best answers. No pressure. You ready?
Absolutely ready.
Awesome, man. Number one, what's been the most valuable lesson you've learned from failure, Marco?
The failure is a great lesson. All the failures are a great lesson. The most important thing is to me is to learn how to bounce. All the time fell down, I figure out that it's like a wave. It's like the ocean. You have bad waves and you have good waves, and you have bad waves. And so the very important thing is to be able to bounce all the time you fell. It's impossible to think I don't fail. I never fell. But if you're able to manage and to stay focused on your vision, the very important thing is your vision. Otherwise, it's just a dream. You have to work hard for your vision. You have to stay focused on there. And when I started doing consumer neuroscience was absolutely innovative. I started this stuff like 15 years ago, and old people watched me like, "Oh, you are crazy. This stuff is not interesting." And I started every single day studying about consumer neuroscience, applying consumer neuroscience, because I read one phrase that was very crazy to me was the 95% of our decision-making processes are totally unconscious, triggered by an emotion. And so I decided, okay, that's my way. I'm totally agree with this phrase. So that's my industry. And you know how many times I work hard for this industry before I have success in this industry? A long time. Then one day I recognized that all the things I did all together became a beautiful paint. And everything it's like a puzzle. Every pieces went in the right place. So also when you don't see your final goal, you have to fight for your vision. Thanks to your vision, you can reach your mission.
Wow. Thanks to your vision, you can reach your mission. That's a bar. I love it. Amazing, amazing. Marco, if you had to start over, what's the first thing you would do differently?
Probably I moved to the United States before. But I have to be honest, probably I don't know if I would like to change something in my career, in my life, because every stuff happened in my life let me become the man I am today. I go through the light, I go through the dark, and thanks to both of those moments or period of my life, I'm to get today the guy I am. So I think probably I don't change nothing. The only stuff was to trust more in myself before. And because I trusted in the things I was doing, but I was saying, okay, I'm just a guy coming from a small city who can be interested in the things I'm doing. There is a lot of other guys doing the same thing. Why me? And the real question was not why me, was why not me?
Mm,
And when I changed this mentality, everything changed.
that's amazing. What's the best investment, Marco, you've made in your business?
Probably when I decide to start studying consumer neuroscience. I'm from the my background was about marketing.
Mm.
And one day I bought a very stupid car. I was living in a small city in Tuscany and I bought a Jeep Grand Cherokee that for that place was huge. We had narrow streets, narrow parking lots, so everything was crazy, but I loved the snow. And so I say, okay, I want to go to the snow. And I saw a lot of videos showing me that car amazing and very safely on the snow. So I decided, okay, I wanted that car for the snow. Then when I bought that car, I recognized that it was great for 4 weeks per year. For the other time was insane. It's nonsense. From that moment, I say, okay, what triggered me to buy this car instead of another car? And I spent a lot of money, wait a lot of time for this special car, and it was not a good car for me.
Yeah.
And I figured out there was an emotion behind that. And so I decided to start studying consumer neuroscience, studying neuroscience. And that was the moment, the investment I did in studying in the things I would like to really have was the best one.
Wow. That's so interesting. I love that story. If you could master one skill that you may not have right now, what would it be?
That's an incredible question. I think the patience could be one. I'm a very, every time I have a vision, I would like to have it in 3 days, in 2 days. I want to have now. I'm
Mm.
not a patient guy. And I think that I can improve that because all the time I was able to be more patient, things happens. Working hard for one thing, but sometimes my mistake is that I want everything now.
Mm.
And but it's our generation. That's the reason why I do consumer neuroscience. Consumer neuroscience is the we use biomedical tools to figure out what's happening in the human mind and body when we have an experience. So we're reading the unconscious part of the human brain, and that's the reason why sometimes I would like to use with myself as well. And you use for your customers, and you don't use for yourself because sometimes also for my company, we rebranded the company a few months ago, and I was convinced that okay, now I want everything came now, and we need to take the right time. Otherwise, you can have the good and the best idea ever, but if it's not the right time, it doesn't work.
Yeah. I agree 100%. That's amazing. Last question, Marco. What's been your proudest moment in business so far?
Uh, our business moment is a great moment. It's a great moment because consumer neuroscience is pretty new. It's not new because brands like Disney or Apple or Coca-Cola use these techniques for more than 20 years. But for all the people, it's something very innovative. So when I go and talk with the people and talk with the marketing guy and talk with the branding guy, say, hey, you know that I can give you insight coming directly from the brain of the people using electroencephalography or using our tool, and you can read in that part of the human brain, and you can have all this insight that they are not able to share with you because they don't. We like human being, we are not rational animal. We are emotional animals that rationalize. So we don't want to share a lot of stuff about ourselves, our decision, our preferences, and we are able to read that. And so when I talk with people, a lot of people say, "Oh, that like you are a magician." No, I'm not. It's science. It's not a magician. I can tell you that changing the color of the light in your store can improve your sales. I can tell you that changing 2 seconds of your video messaging, you can let people be more engaged. And just 2 seconds, because the details are the most important thing. So my moment in business is very good because people slowly recognizing these techniques because they're listening more about that. And they wrote books. I have a newsletter. I have a podcast on Spotify talking about this stuff. Is like years that I'm doing that, and people slowly understanding the real value of these things. So
Mm.
I think it's the moment, and the prevention of the consumer neuroscience. It's amazing, a huge change in the next years. All the brands will use that together with artificial intelligence. It's
Wow.
not one or, but
Yeah.
it's together.
That's awesome. Amazing job, Marco. You crushed it. I love it. I love it. So let's dive deeper into Neuralysis. Tell me about your company, but specifically before we dive into your company, what is consumer neuroscience?
Consumer neuroscience is the application of neuroscience to the consumer behavior. So basically, we read in the mind and body, searching for reaction, unconscious reaction. For example, we have a software of facial coding that is able to read your emotion through a camera facing you and your face, reading your face, because we have micro expression that express emotions and they are
Wow.
totally unconscious, and we have a duration of 35 milliseconds, and we can't manage because it's absolutely unconscious. So we are able to read and tell people, okay, while your customers were watching your product, they were watching there, thanks to the eye tracker. I can tell you they were watching there exactly in that point of your packaging. They read their phrase, they check an image or something similar, and they have this emotion. And if
Wow.
it's a positive emotion, that's cool. If it's a negative emotion, you have to change the packaging or you have to change the color. And we gave that type of insight. So basically, we go deeper in the human brain.
Wow, that's so interesting. And now tell me about your company, Neuralysis. So that's what you're focusing on, is essentially that science and applying it within businesses to help them with their marketing?
Correct. Basically, is we can define our industry like scientific market research. When people have to do a market research or a consumer research, basically they do a focus group. And they think that the focus group is the best thing ever. But it's false, because it's like if I came in front of you and say, okay, what do you think about this product? And you say, I'm asking you, so if you think that it's a very bad product, you'd never say to me, I don't like it. Okay. And more if you are in a huge group of people and on 10 people, nine say, oh, that's amazing. You probably align yourself to the others. This is thanks to the biases. Biases are some shortcuts that we use to save energy in our brain. So basically, it doesn't matter for the company because they get results that they are not really the truth. And that's the reason why a lot of products have amazing results during the focus group and they don't have a great result when they go to market. Our research is analyzing the unconscious stuff. Making an example. A guy came from us, say, okay, I have to sell this new product on the American market. I want to know exactly what's the perception and what's the perceived price of this product in Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago. So we did our research. Our research is qualitative, not quantitative. So we need at least 20 people for city, okay, for each city, and because science in that case is the same that having like 1,000 people with a quantitative, we have the same result. We did the research, and for some products, he have like 3, 4 products. Some products we have an incredible insight that Americans are willing to pay like the 40, 50% more than the price that the guys that the company had in mind. And you know what? If the market is ready for your product and you can have a price that is either for the 40, 50%, it's a huge amount of money. And they didn't know because they choose a price, make just a comparison with their competitor. Say, okay, if my competitor sell this product to 100 boxes, I will do for 110 or 90 because I'm in a new product. But the perception of packaging, of the products, of the name, the labeling was 150. And you can sell to 130 and you are absolutely in market. And
Mm.
people start buying and you are doing a lot of money more. So basically, that's the stuff we are doing.
Wow, that's amazing. And you guys have your own product, your own service.
Yes, we provide services. Plus, we developed a software for the facial coding that it's able to read the emotion and give to the marketing manager insight from the emotion. So, image that you have to test a video or a website or a product, you just put your smartphone in front of this person while they having this experience, and then you upload the video on this platform, and you can have all the information from them and their unconscious emotion. This
Wow,
product will be ready like in 20 days, and we will go to market in 20 days, more or less, 1 month, and it
nice.
will be super crazy.
That's so amazing, Marco. So tell me more about the people that you're helping. Is it e-com brands? Is it what is their average audience look like?
Depends. Basically, I'm specialized in two, three markets in food and beverage, in retail, and in technology and in luxury. It's the main brand we work with. Uh, we help companies in optimizing all the digital stuff like website, e-commerce, or I don't know, social media, but also we help them in improving the retail shop. Thanks to the high tracking, I can tell you when people come inside your store, their visual attention is there and not that. So if you want to get the right message, you have to put there instead of this. You have to change the color of the light, change the type of the music, and stuff like that. Or we work with branding company or company that have to do branding because we can analyze the perception of a brand and we can optimize packaging as well.
Nice. That's amazing, Marco. So tell me about the audience that you help. Tell me about what is their pain points? What are their problems that they're facing that you really come in and solve?
They after the COVID, the rules of marketing totally changed. All the stuff that worked perfectly before COVID, now everything is it's more complicated. Advertising online is more complicated. It's more expensive, and so a lot of people trying to and there is another thing. We are receiving a lot of messages during our day, a lot of inputs, a lot of triggers, and so when I wake up, I get my phone and read the push notification. Then I was driving, I have, I don't know, the radio with advertising. I go on social media, I see advertising. I start switch on the TV, I see advertising. All these messages is impossible to be saved in our brain because our brain is not so evolved. So how I can send out my marketing message? I have to find the unconscious need of my customers. The unconscious need is a need that we have, but we are not able to know rationally that we have. But how I can intercept that unconscious need? Thanks to the consumer neuroscience. So basically, we help companies that want to create a marketing that really works with and using our services, they can reach their KPI easier and faster, but not because Marco is great, because it's the neuroscience that's great. And then Marco is the person that is able to translate neuroscientific insight into marketing insight. That's the trick.
I love it. Wow. And what happens if they ignore this pain, these problems?
It's very interesting. I mean, sometimes I found guys that say, "No, okay, I don't want to do this type of research. I prefer to do a normal research and launch my product in this way." And I have a crazy story to explain exactly things like that. One food company contacted me. They have to launch a new product. It's like 10 different variants of the same product. And so we did a research about the color of the packaging that is better connected with their values. So it's a product totally natural. And so we did our research and then we gave them a report where we wrote, okay, don't use the green, but you have to use like pastel color, color very light, not too, not fluo or something similar. So they decide, and I went there during their board meeting, and they say, "Okay, you have to do this color, not that color." And the board president told me, "My wife loves green. We will do green." It's okay. Why you pay me for a research and then you decide with your mind? It's okay. Doesn't matter. You pay me. It's okay. After a few months, the marketing man, and then I saw the product. I asked them, I ask you a favor. The product that is less interesting for you, make it with my color, not with your color. And they agree. After a few months, their marketing manager called me laughing and said, "Marco, do you know what? The only product we are selling is the one with your color. We are rebranding all the other products with your color because we don't know why, but the only product that we are selling is the one that we made with your color." I told him, "Hey, I'm not a magician. It's science. I did the research. I read the human brain, how it works, and they give you some insight. You decide to ignore it, and now you have to spend a lot of money after 6 months to change completely again the packaging, completely again the color. And you know what? People start learning your product, so you did a mess, and you spend two, three, probably four times the same amount of money just because you decided your wife said that green is the best color for your product."
Wow. I'm sure they weren't too happy about that. Yeah,
Yeah, probably he never listened his wife more. I don't think
yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not for marketing suggestions.
Can you tell me about some client success stories? Maybe one
Yep,
that was really transformative,
yep.
and how your company really helped them.
Yeah, we had an e-commerce guy. He's Italian second generation. Was born and grew in New York, and he has a great connection with his father. His father came in the United States when uh, during the gold era. So he arrived here, he did a lot of money, he started a store with Italian products, he started a restaurant, he started a school, started a lot of stuff. Then during the COVID, this guy died, and the son was very connected with him. He has the same name, but junior, and so he decided to continue the dream of the father. And so he decided to start an e-commerce selling the same Italian product that the father sold in the store. And he spent a lot of money. He had a lot of money to invest, and he started investing money in this product. After 1 year, he came to me and said, Marco, I don't know why. The store is going great. And people asked if they can buy online, but my website is not working. I don't know why. It's in e-commerce. It's talking about made in Italy. And made in Italy is like a magic word. But I'm not selling. I'm not selling how much I want compared with the investment I'm doing. I'm investing good money. So we registered him talking about his story. So he spoke about his father, the connection with his father, the same name. The COVID arrived, he died. And then during all this explanation, he told that once per year, he go to Italy, in the farthest part of Calabria, it's a smaller part of Italy, and to talk with the producer, the small producer, to watch in their eyes and to shake their hand, and to help them to bring the product to the United States. The most engaging and emotional part is when he spoke about shaking the hand gesture. So we give them this insight. Stop talking about made in Italy. Start talking the gesture of shaking the hand, because for Americans means trust. That product are really from there. That you really know the producer of that product, and you really eat that product before you start selling to me. In 1 year, investing the 60% less in marketing, they had sales increased by 434%.
Wow.
But the crazy part of the story is not this. People start asking, okay, you know them. I wanted to go there and meet this guy, meet this producer. So they start organizing a trip to Italy. 7,000, 8,000, 1 week without the flight. Sold out in 1 week. All the trip sold out. And he started making double money. Then
Wow.
he just told me and say, Marco, I want to start selling bergamot. I didn't know what bergamot is. Absolutely didn't know. Bergamot is like a lemon, and it's very good for cholesterol. And you can have the juice, and you can put in the water, and you can drink. So we made a study, say, okay, they are organizing some Italian food lesson in that period. I say, okay, perfect. Do you know what? You want to start selling bergamot? We have to play with the senses, because we are sensorial animal. So during that lesson, where you can learn how to prepare a pasta, okay, we put some candle with the smell of bergamot in the room. And then after the experience that you are excited because you learn how to do ragu or pasta bolognese or whatever, they show to the people a video with the bergamot and the story of the bergamot, the guy in Italy that pick the bergamot up with their hands, something like that. And then in the hand, they have a sip of bergamot to close the experience. And when people go home, they give a bag with a small candle with the bergamot smell and the small paper with the QR code to buy the bergamot. You know what? In 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they start selling bergamot with the subscription. We have people from New York and New Jersey buying bergamot with the subscription. Monthly, they receive the bergamot at home to drink because it's good for cholesterol. And that's
Wow.
insane. I told, okay, you are ready you was able to sell bergamot to Americans. You can sell everything.
Yeah.
Because the smell is a very important thing. The smell is the only sense we have that is connected directly with the emotional part of our brain and not with the rational one. So the candle in the room start letting you perceiving something. That you
Yeah.
had a great experience thanks to the lesson, and you connected that smell to the positive experience. And when you go home and you switch on the same candle, we are reconnected with the memory. And so we decide to buy. And that's a
Wow.
crazy story. I have
Power.
tons of them, but that's probably one of the craziest.
Wow. Powerful, powerful, powerful. I love it. Well, amazing, Marco. This sounds so interesting. How can people work with you? Where can they find you?
They can find me on LinkedIn. It's my probably main field. I have a newsletter. They can find me also on Spotify. I have a podcast called Neuromarketing Tap in the Consumer Brain.
Mm,
And they can find me on Instagram, where sometimes I have some live or I give some tips through videos or reels.
mm.
Basically, that's the base. Or on our website, it's neuralysis.com, and they can find all the information. I have also answered in the website a frequently asked question, because I know that people, if they are able to figure out the power of these tools, they can be absolutely fascinated.
Wow. Amazing, Marco. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show. It's been a pleasure having you. Such an interesting concept. I'm sure a lot of people are interested in as well. But thank you again for your time, Marco. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a great time.
And that is a wrap on this episode of The Social Room. I hope you found some great insights and maybe even some potential opportunities and ideas. Remember, the connections you make today could be the game changers of tomorrow. If you're interested in continuing the conversation or exploring potential partnerships, don't hesitate to reach out. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it. Stay tuned until next time.